Hey guys, welcome to Empowering DIY. Today I wanted to work on this outlet that I have. This is outside my shop area. I have, this is kind of like a RV hookup set up already. The previous owners had a meter here, and we believe they lived in a camper while they were building our house. So they had all the power they needed. They had a 50 amp connection with the 50 amp breaker, and then they also had a 20 amp breaker for this 20 amp outlet. And what I was going to do was, this outlet, literally as you see it right now, is how it came. It just was just this outlet, no weather protection or anything on it. So I was just going to swap this outlet out, and I quickly realized why there was no cover on there was because it wouldn't fit. So I already have it kind of apart, but then we decided we were going to film it because of what I got to do to it. So instead of this outlet here in this box here, I'm going to move it down here to this wood right here. That's going to give me room to put a weatherproof cover on it with a new GFCI outlet. So what we're going to do first is just basically take all this apart, and I'm going to redo everything. So I'm going to try to bring you along as I go. So the first thing we want to do, like I do every video, every time we work on electrical, is we always disconnect the power and make sure it's off. And I already checked this with the meter earlier. So just make sure you verify the outlet, and I've already done that. But this is my breaker, I have it off, and now I can tear everything apart here. Let's take that out. Like I said, I already started taking this apart. So what we have to do now is I got to get all this apart, and this lid won't stay open. If it gets aggravating, you can actually pull it off pretty simply. Just pull this out. It'd help if you get 5/16. Hold on, Izzy. Izzy, you gonna help us? Izzy, hold on, baby. Here. Now we have room to work. I'm going to take this cover off. And if you notice, I have both breakers off, and that's because I got to expose this one. So I just want to make sure that I was protected from both of them. You record? So I had to get a wrench. I couldn't get my drill inside there, so a lot of times this is a Craftsman that I've actually had for a while, but a lot of times if you ever get any kits in the building projects or anything like that, and you see little wrenches, 5/16 1/4" wrenches, I try to keep them because a lot of times I get in spots like this that you don't have the right tool for, so try to keep that in mind. All right. Roll that out of the way. All right, that comes in. Go ahead and undo the wiring. Now if you get in close, I'll show you the black wire is your hot wire, and then your white wire is your neutral, and ground goes to ground, of course. So it's only 3 wires, very simple, 110 volts. So I'm going to replace this whole wire. So we go ahead and take this loose again, confirm that it's off.
You jump like you got shot.
Something landing on my neck and scared me. That's out. I think I'll go ahead. well, they knocked out a bigger hole, so good time to explain these. I got a I call them knockout washers, or knockout adapters. There's a technical term, but that's what I know. So what this is someone has, before my time, knocked this hole out to a 1-inch hole. If you can see, it's a bigger hole, and we're using 1/2-inch watertight conduit. So that's just basically an adapter. It adapts it down to 1/2 inch. And so you're gonna have one on each side. So you'll add your adapter down here, go up through here, and of course it's all bent up. So let's see if we can do a cone up real quick better. That'll work. And a lot of times I'll go ahead and run the wire and everything through it first, but this is such a short run. The fitting right here is easy enough to put on first. I already had some, this is 12-2 Romex. My wife would call me a hoarder, probably. I probably am. But this is just some scrap that I keep. And a lot of times it comes in handy. You don't have to go to Lowe's or anywhere and buy. You know, if you have to buy 2 feet of it, it could be $5-6. Where you buy a big roll of it and keep it, use it as you need it. It's a lot cheaper. So anyways, and then I had a bunch of extra 1/2-inch conduit from projects. So I got it long right now. What I need to do, I also bought this box. This is a watertight box. I'm gonna mount it here. So this is kind of just an estimate. I'll get it close. I should have had a 90, I guess. I realize now I probably should have a 90. But that'll work right there. And I forgot a knife. I'll be right back. Alright, so I went ahead and cut this piece down. I really need a 90 here, but I'm gonna make it work. I don't have a 90 and I'm not gonna go buy one for this. So what I did was I cut me off a piece of wire. I kept it long, right? And I want some extra here to run inside the box and easier to work with, okay? So put your nut on here and watch me struggle, because it's gonna be a struggle. Run this up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna cheat just a little bit. It's not cheating if you make it easier, right? Go ahead and get this off now to where I don't have to worry about it while it's inside the box. Alright, I don't know if you can see it or not, but whenever you're working with watertight, liquid tight conduit, you want to make sure that your conduit gets up inside here as far as possible, so when you lock the nut, this nut actually locks these down onto the conduit and holds it tight. So I see a lot of times the conduit's hanging out, and yeah, it can get jerked out, but if you have it up in there tight and you tighten this good, it should hold really good. You shouldn't have a problem with it coming out. Alright, got that done. All I'm going to do is just kind of run it around. Okay, I'll go ahead and run my ground over first. And I'll run my neutral over. I like to have everything as neat as possible. Now, I didn't wire up this box, so I'm not going to rewire everything. At least whatever I do, I try to have as neat as possible. Run this over to the neutral side. Alright, and I'll tuck that back out of the way. Do the hot. And I always do a tug test. Just want to make sure it's in the socket real tight. And that's it for this box. This box is done. I can put everything back together. These boxes can be tricky. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but these got these little tabs in here. And you basically center these tabs with this panel. And if the panel's any type of bent like it is, it could be aggravating trying to get it in there. So, like that. Make sure it's good. Centered up. And mount this box. Now, these liquid type boxes come with a bunch of knockouts because they're plastic. You can't just bust holes in them. So they come with these plugs. Make sure you put the plugs in them. So if not, they're pointless. Every time it rains, water will get in every other hole. So it's no point in doing all the extra effort if you don't cover all the holes up. And believe me, I've seen plenty of boxes with the holes, knockouts missing. Now, these type of boxes are threaded, so you won't need these locks. You just thread it in. And it's got an O-ring, so you want it as tight to the O-ring as possible. And it's 3/4, so they come with adapters already. You can put the adapter on if you want, but that one's not even tight on it. Yeah, real tight. Now these are plastic, so you don't want to take pliers or anything to them, because you will bust them, but unless you really can't grip it. But most of the time you can just hold it and give it a good twist. You just want to make sure the O-ring's tight, and this one will be tight. You can take, this one's a little bit tougher plastic, you can take channel locks to it, but you don't need to. And then, to make it a little easier, I'm going to mount the conduit to the box first. And then I'll mount the box. Grab a couple screws. box is mounted. Conduit looks tight, looks pretty neat. So what I'll do now, I'll cut off. You have some wire hanging out, I always take my finger right here to the edge of the box and come out a little bit, and then I'll add just a couple inches. And what that is, just gives you enough room to wire up any outlet or anything. You don't want to be fighting with the wires too short. Yeah. And that's just personal preference. The more you wire up outlets, the better off you'll get on where you like it. And in this Romex, you don't want to cut deep. It's really, really thin. So all you do is basically just score it on both sides. You don't want to dig in because you'll nick the wire. So you just score it just a little bit and pull it, and it comes right off. So, and then this is just paper for around the ground. You just cut it off. Sometimes it hangs up a little bit, sometimes it rips right off. Alright, so now time for the new outlet. What we'll do is this, and I use the holes on the wire strippers right here. Twist it. You got your little hook there, and then I try to all the time when you tighten a screw, you turn it clockwise. So I always try to have the hook going with the clock, so when you tighten it down, it gets tighter. Alright, now go ahead and strip these back. This outlet is basically just a plug-in outlet. You don't have to make the loops for the hot and the common. But if you look on the back of it, they're clearly labeled line and load. Now from a breaker is your line. Load is if you have more outlets you want to tie into it. So load is always coming out of the outlet. Line is from your breaker. So the wires from the breaker you want to hook up on the line side, and they're actually marked white and black, or white and hot. So it's pretty simple, straightforward after that. And I always try to look and see where my wires are, try to make it neat as possible. I don't like to have everything all twisted up. Now when you tighten the screw, there's a plate back there that actually pulls towards the screw. So if you can't get your wire in, before you put the wire in, if you push on the screw, then stick your wire in, it'll actually go in a lot easier, and then you can tighten the plate up against the wire. Here you go, do a tug test. Everything's tight. Now what you do is tuck your wires down, fold them down like that. Alright, and a lot of times the screws are already mounted, but I was fooling with this trying to get it to fit the other day, so my screws are out, and I'm going to show you why. If you start your screws just a little bit and push in on the outlet, this box has hooks that you just catch it. You don't have to screw it through it. So if you slide it from the side, there you go, and you push in on the outlet and tighten your screws. Now it's going into a plastic box, so you don't want to over torque it. If you use a drill, you go in till it's almost tight, and then just snug it up the rest of the way with a regular screwdriver. You don't want to strip it out. And that's it. Everything's installed. We'll turn our breaker on. Now this will be tripped when it's off, or when it's new. So you'll turn it on. So it should be red. It had power, but this one didn't light up when I tripped it for some reason. But I noticed when I was messing with it, it did reset, but the light didn't light up. So we'll probably keep something plugged into it most of the time, so you can actually take these slots out. There's 2 of them, and if you want to run the cord in from the side or from the bottom. So what you do is just slide this out, then you can plug your cord in, and then this is deep enough where it'll stay out of the way. So a lot of times you get to just pick the wire up and push inside there, and sometimes it's aggravating. You gotta fool with it a little bit, or you can even plug it in the top. It might help a little bit better. And then it snaps closed, and it's wanting to be stubborn right now, but there it is. Now we have a watertight cover. All I gotta do is put my cover back on, and we're good to go. So just to review real quick, 20 amp breaker. We took a bad box here with no cover on it. We added the conduit to a new GFCI outlet and a new waterproof cover. I can go in more depth with this, or I can go in less depth if y'all want interested in any other type of wiring. So please feel free to comment below if you're interested in this, or if you got any questions. Again, we are doing a giveaway. When I get to 200 subscribers, we will do a giveaway for a Lowe's gift card. We are a DIY channel, so we feel like a gift card to Lowe's would be a good giveaway. So please like these videos, share it to Facebook, Instagram, anybody, just tell people about my channel. We're trying to build it up. And also subscribe, please. And there is a bell on there. You can get alerts if you want that too. Again, thank you for watching Empowering DIY. And if you got any questions, feel free to ask. Have a good day.